Hey everyone, I'm back, and today I'm going to show you some moves that you can do on the floor for your biceps, triceps, and back, okay? And shoulders actually too. So, you know, the coolest thing about this machine, I think, is that I've been using it for over a year now, and I just figured this exercise out. So, I still come across new ideas, and I watch movements every day. It's crazy. But so I did this routine earlier with one of my clients, and she liked it. And what I like about it is it keeps your elbows and your upper arms stable when you do these movements. So for your triceps and biceps, people have a tendency to really swing their arms, and once you swing your arms with your biceps, then you're using momentum. Whereas if your elbow stays put, then you can really isolate your biceps. The same thing with triceps. Seems like people, when they do tricep moves, a push down move, then they tend to just rock too much, okay? And they really struggle keeping this elbow in tight. So here's a cool way to do these movements on the floor to get a really good burn. So camera angle isn't that great, but hopefully you can get a feel for it. One of these days I'll hire a camera person. So all I'm going to do, I've got my blues connected down low, okay? All I'm going to do is keep my elbows in tight, curl in, squeeze, and back to straight, okay? Nice and rhythmic. And if that's too hard, you can always do one at a time. Anytime you do one at a time, it's a little bit easier. You can put a little more energy into that one arm. Fatigues you more slowly. Okay, elbows are staying put in and getting a nice little pause at the top. All right, so I'm letting them go all the way straight. You don't want to stop short, okay? You want to lengthen out that muscle. So the next one, I'm actually going to turn around and do triceps. That was for my biceps. Tricep move looks like this. I'm going to make sure I have my bench, the bench part actually, near the end there. I've tilted it down to make sure that the weight distribution is at that end, so that when I'm pulling from this end, you know, there's no risk of this thing pulling over on top of me, especially when I'm alone. Typically though, you'll be with a trainer and they'll be watching that closely, I'm sure. So all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to lay back, okay, and actually I've got the wrong one there. There it is. The two high ones I've connected up here. See that? And now I'm going to keep my elbows in tight, back is flat, right? And I'm just going to push down to the floor, down to the floor. My upper arm is perpendicular to the floor. See that? Squeeze. And squeeze at the bottom. I don't want this to come too far back and get too much slack there, right? So control it, down and back, get that eccentric on the way up and the concentric on the way down. And that is really tough because totally isolating my triceps here by keeping my upper arm flat on the floor and my elbows on the floor as well. Alright, so 20 of those alternating would be good. From there you can also, of course, just throw in some, I like to just throw in some abs here and there, some leg swings or some flutters while you're down here, while your arms rest a little bit. The next move is for your lats and some shoulder and some tricep. So I've got my straight bar hooked up. I'm going to actually take these and get them out of the way, my tricep bands. And I'm staying with the blues again. And all I'm going to do is this. Roll, I'm going to lay underneath very gracefully. Alright, I got my arms up straight. I'm just going to pull this down to my waist. Okay, I'll actually make my legs straight. And down and hold. That's a nice stretch. I'm going to take it so my arms are straight here. And then back in. See that? Hold and down. If you need it to be a little harder, you can always add another band. And I would suggest doing all this with a partner or with a trainer, just so they can assist you in your maneuvering. Down, hold, back up. exhale. And because my body has to stay so flat here, this is really difficult. I can't use my back, my momentum at all to rock into this. Now what I like to do from here is to try to take this bar, and that's hard just to hold it in a static way right there, and then take my feet up. And so I'm pushing the bar up, and then I'm doing abs from here. So I'm getting upper abs, core stabilization, and getting some lower abs at the same time. Okay? If I wanted to, I could try to push up a little bit from there. And that is super difficult. Struggling. Okay. So, those are a couple cool moves you can do on the floor to isolate, those muscle groups, and then take the swing out of the movements, take the momentum out. So when you're doing these things standing up with dumbbells or with the bands, just try to see yourself as laying on the floor and being very still with your upper body and keeping your elbows in, and I think you'll get more out of working those muscle groups. So, all right, have some fun with it. Thanks for watching.